Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ferzoco Group TV. I am Chris Ferzoco.
And I'm Joe Ferzoco. And if this is your first time to the channel and you like the most up-to-date market information and happenings here at the Jersey Shore, just subscribe below, tap on that bell for instant notifications, and please hit that like button and you'll be the first to get, as I mentioned, the most up-to-date market information and happenings down here at the Jersey Shore, whether it's summer or winter. And Chris, so today we're actually going to discuss, we're going to compare April 2022 to March 2022.
Correct.
And folks, this is going to be townhouses, multifamily, condos, single family lots, anything and anything real estate wise with regards to a transaction that's happened in the month of April. We're going to compare that to what happened in March. Chris, why don't you get us started?
Sure.
And we'll kind of take a look at the northern part of what we cover.
Sure. I'm actually going to start on the shore towns, Joe. I'm actually going to begin in Ocean City.
Okay.
And so rather some interesting numbers here. Some of them are a little bit shocking, I would say, but getting going with Ocean City, first and foremost, we're going to look at, as Joe mentioned, the values and what's going on with the values here in Ocean City from March into April. So in Ocean City, we actually had a 10% decrease in the value of all property here in Ocean City from month to month.
Yep.
And the number of properties that actually sold, we also had a decrease, so that was a little bit shocking. And that actually dropped by about 4.5%. We actually, and the numbers are a little, percentage-wise, Joe, are a little bit of misleading here. It actually went from 86 down to 82. So just a slight drop in the actual number of properties that sold there from month to month.
All right.
And when you look at the number of properties that came on the market, we actually had another decrease there, Joe. It actually dropped 6%.
All right.
So we had some decreases across the board for Ocean City there, moving out of the first quarter into the second quarter. So we're going to keep an eye on that naturally here in the second quarter.
Sure.
Dropping down into Seattle City. What we actually had in value-wise was astonishing. Seattle City just is continuing on this meteoric rise. Went from 1.4 to 1.7 average price, so that's actually a 21% increase from the month of March to the month of April in values there in the homes in Seattle City. So big jump.
Yep.
Number of properties that actually sold, flatline. Actually, same number of properties sold in April virtually as in March.
Yep.
So no change there. And then when you look at the number of properties that came on the market, it had an increase there. It jumped from 14 to 20, so that's a 43% increase. So still seeing a lot of properties hitting the market here in Seattle City, and they seem to be selling just as fast as they're coming on.
Okay.
In a little one-to-one. Yep,
there you go.
For the
How
short
about that?
term.
Yeah, very good. Well, Chris, I'm going to jump on a little bit. I'm going to move a little bit further south for the other areas that we cover.
Okay.
So let's start, and I'll use the same thing, sale price listed, and the amount of properties that came onto the market. So let's go with average sale price. So in North Wildwood, we looked at a 17% decrease in the average sale price, April compared to March of 2022, 17% drop in the average sale price. As far as the amount of properties that sold in North Wildwood, we had 17 sell, which was a drop of 29%, and the amount of properties that listed for sale jumped up 38 units, which was a 29% increase. So we had a decrease in the number of sales, and we had a big jump in the amount of properties that came onto the market. That's going to be a little bit of a pattern, folks, that you may see here through some of the other shore towns. Let's go into Wildwood proper in itself. They had a 31% increase in their average sale price. The number of properties that came on the market, that was also dropped. That was 37. That was a 12% decrease, so not huge, but that was a decrease. The number of properties that sold, that also dropped as well. That dropped 27%. Going into the Crest, we saw another decrease in the average sale price from April to March. That was a 7% drop. If you remember from actually the first quarter, it was a total 8% drop in the Crest. So gotta kind of keep an eye on that there with regards to the average sale price dropping 7%. The number of properties that sold, that dropped 45%. There were 23 total units that sold in the Crest in April. And the amount of properties that were listed for sale in the Crest jumped over 52%. So 40 properties came on the market. So that's a massive jump when you look at 23 sold, 42 come on. So now you're almost on a 2-to-1 ratio. So there's going to be something to watch there. Diamond Beach, Sea Point Village, Chris. One more shore town. Actually, the second to last one. 2% increase in the average sale price. We had 7 sell, which was a 14% increase. And we had 9 come on the market. And if you remember, in the first quarter, or from March to February, there was only 1. Well, we had 8 come on the market. So, it's a 90% decrease. Right, exactly. They were waiting until April. One last short town, Chris, Cape May. Massive jump, 21% increase in their average sale price, well over $1 million. Had 14 properties sell, which was exactly the same amount that sold in March. And the number of properties that came on the market, they're probably seeing the average sale price go up. That jumped up 47%.
Sure.
So 30 came on the market there, so another big number there. Why don't you talk about a little bit about the offshore markets?
Yeah, sure will. Boy, it sounds like everyone's coming on the market and getting made
Yeah.
Joe. Gonna move back up the coast. I'm actually gonna start in Upper Township. So there we actually saw a price of value increase there in Upper Township, which is great to see for a primary home market. We actually had a 12.5% jump. Went from about 540 plus thousand to over 600,000 on average.
Cool.
So that's a nice jump there in the primary home market for Upper Township. The number of properties that sold actually had a pretty sharp decrease, Joe. That dropped by actually 45%. I mean, virtually cut in half the number of properties that sold there in the month of April versus March. And the actual properties that came on the market actually jumped up by 12%. So actually seeing a little bit more inventory hit there in Upper Township. So we're gonna watch that just to kind of see, does it level it out? Does it all sell off? We'll kind of have to kind of keep an eye on that here moving forward.
Sure.
But again, just to recap that, we did see the number of properties sell drop, but the number of came on actually had increased. Moving into Summers Point, so continuing moving north. With regards to values, actually saw a 10% increase in value in Summers Point, so that's been a real consistent model there in Summers Point. With regards to the number of properties that sold, actually had a huge jump there. We jumped 33% in the number of properties that had sold in Summers Point. And in regards to the properties that came on the market, this actually had a sharp decrease, actually dropped 44%. So we're gonna have to watch that. When you see that many properties sell and that many properties come on the market, there becomes a discrepancy again, and that leads to an inventory issue. So we're gonna have to continue to watch Summers Point to see what goes on there as well.
Yeah.
But those are the stats coming out of Summers Point here from April compared to March.
Okay, I'll cover 2 more offshore markets. Kind of what you were saying with that, Chris, too. I think, folks, once we get into like that second quarter and we could do like a mid-year review, Chris, we'll really start to see that. All right, this month here had a sharp decrease in the number of properties that came on the market, but yet, skyrocket in the number of units that sold. And then all of a sudden we'll see the skyrocketed number of properties that came on the market, low inventory. They all sort of it's almost like a 60-day cycle. They all kind of cycle through, and this came on high, this came on low. So that'll be something to see, we'll watch, and I think that'll really come out in our mid-year review. So let's just jump down to Cape May Courthouse. So we had a 31% increase in the average sale price in Cape May Courthouse, April compared to March. We saw a 22% decline in the amount of properties that sold. It was 14. And then the number of properties that listed, again, jumped up 9%. 33 came on the market in Cape May Courthouse. So again, a little tick up there in the amount of inventory that's available for buyers. And then North Cape May, they had a 3.5% decrease in their average sale price for April compared to March. The number of properties that sold, that dropped to 33%. There was only 8 units that sold in April. And then the inventory level, that dropped 50%. Only 10 homes came on the market total in the month of April in North Cape May. So, Chris, that's going to wrap it up for our April compared to March 2022 stats. And folks, whether you're looking to buy or sell here at the Jersey Shore, and that may be next week, a month from now, 6 months from now, or gosh, even a year, please feel free to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or an email, as it'll be our pleasure to help you with all of your real estate needs here at the Jersey Shore. So until next time, we'll see you at the beach.